Am I the a-hole for moving out of my dad's house and telling him I won't let him see me graduate? When I, 18 female, was 5, my mom died. My mom always wore this necklace that she got as a teenager. It was unique and special and meant so much to her, and she gave it to me to wear before she died. She told me that if I ever wanted something physical to think of her by, I could have that, and she knew it would work because she always wore it. And I treasured that necklace. When I was 7, my dad got remarried and he and his wife had a daughter, and within a few months my half-sister was born. I was 8. One day when she was 6, she asked me if she could wear the necklace, and I said no. She got upset. My dad and his wife were upset with me for being unwilling to share it, so my dad forced me to take it off and he gave it to my half-sister. He said from that day on it was hers because she deserved it, and I had acted immaturely and cruelly by refusing to let her even touch the necklace. My dad and I got into a big fight about it, and his wife inserted herself into the whole thing by saying I loved the necklace more than I loved my half-sister. It was less than a week later when everything shut down, and for months after things were tense and I was angry, like beyond angry, because my half-sister kept the necklace and I was seething. She refused to give it back to me, and Dad would yell when I would try demanding it back when asking failed. 2 years ago she broke the necklace. It was an accident. But I was there when it happened, and she was being careless with it and her parents were watching. I lost my shit and I yelled and cursed and told my dad I would never forgive any of them and I would never, ever let it go. It took a month of me feeling that way for him to regret it and to realize that my half-sister cared more that I was mad at her than she was about the necklace. Because part of him actually believed the necklace meant something to her too. I refused to accept his apology. His wife called me bitter and said I was shameful for loving a necklace more than my own sister. I told her I never loved my half-sister, and she and her husband could thank themselves for making things even worse. I turned 18 in November and I moved in with my granddad. We had talked about it for ages before, but he picked me up and I left. My dad was trying to stop me leaving, and both my half-siblings, I have a half-brother as well, were upset I was leaving and wanted me to stay. But I left and I intend to never return. My dad has not let up, and when I blocked him after he refused to stop calling, he showed up outside my school last week and told me we needed to talk, and he wanted me to move back in, and graduation was this year and he needed info. I told him he's not coming, so he doesn't need to know anything. He told me of course he was coming, they all are. I looked him in the eye and told him if they show up, I won't attend the ceremony and I will never give him the satisfaction of watching me graduate. He told me I took it all too far and should find a way to forgive. Am I the a-hole?
Not the a-hole. Where's your necklace now? Your dad would be blocked forever if it was me. I'm sorry you lost 2 parents. He spit on your mom's grave and traumatized an already grieving child by taking the one physical thing she had left as an irreplaceable gift from her mother. That's inexcusable. He's a weak excuse of a man and never put his first responsibility to the child he already had above his own wants. Tell him when you get your repaired necklace back and an apology, give you a call. Then take it and let go of him and your resentment and pain, like a helium balloon.
I have it. My granddad paid for repairs, but it will never be in as good condition. It was damaged in a way that couldn't be entirely fixed.
Perhaps you can incorporate the necklace and another piece of jewelry that reminds you of your mom. So sorry, OP.
Not the a-hole. You owe them nothing, and your dad and his wife were horrible to you for forcing you to give up your mom's necklace. I wouldn't blame your sister as she's just a kid, but her parents should have had much better judgment. You do not have to be in contact with anyone if you don't want to. Again, not the a-hole. Did you save the broken necklace, and could you maybe get it reworked into something that reminds you of your mom?
I saved it and my granddad paid for repairs, but it will never be as good as it was. It couldn't be entirely fixed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your granddad sounds really kind and supportive though.
Not the a-hole. He knew how much the necklace meant to you. He had chance after chance to undo what he did. He turned down every single opportunity. Now the consequence of choosing his new family over his eldest daughter is biting him in the ass, and it's too late to undo what he's done. He says you should find a way to forgive, yet he hasn't done a single thing to try to earn forgiveness. Even now, he still is choosing himself over you.
Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter if she pays for her sister's college, then I will stop favoring her with my money? I will try to make this as clear as possible. My mother had a fund that was supposed to be for both of the grandchildren. She told me multiple times it was for both of the kids. She also informed the girls that they have money. She passed away unexpectedly. My oldest name, Shelley, was the only one on the fund, and it is legally hers. She didn't share it with her sister, Grace, and she has a huge head start in life with it. Due to this money, she has been able to go to college debt-free and is going to buy a house soon. My husband and I have been scrambling to give as much money as possible to Grace since she really got screwed over. Even with all our help, she still needs to take out student loans. Grace is working while in college, and she found a student job that gives free housing. The issue is that she needs a car for it. So my husband and I are going to buy her a car because turning down this job will result in a ton of extra debt for her. Shelley found out about us getting the car and is pissed. She is upset with us favoring Grace and that she never got a car from us. I pointed out she doesn't need help financially at all. We argued for a while and I had enough. I told her that if she pays for her sister's college, then I will stop favoring her sister with my money. She called me a jerk and isn't responding. Edit. According to my mother's partner, she had the money together in order to build it up more and was going to split it when my oldest went to college. She died before that. They are full sisters, same parents.
Not the a-hole. Your older daughter was very selfish to not split the money knowing it was what her grandmother wanted. It's one thing to keep an inheritance your family member fully intended to be just for you without sharing, but this feels very wrong. I think that, at least until you have given half that amount to your younger daughter, it is entirely fair. I would be pretty disappointed in her and it would be hard to forgive, to be honest. I can't imagine this isn't going to destroy a lot of relationships in the family.
We will never be able to give Grace half the amount. It would be around $200K, $230K. It won't happen. Maybe when we die, but we probably have 40 years left for us since we had our kids young.
Definitely not the a-hole for trying to help your younger daughter in this situation. That's a huge head start for the older daughter, and I'm honestly shocked by the unmitigated gall she has to complain about not getting more versus her sister over the car. I would just tell her that until she gives her sister that half of the money that her grandmother intended her to have, you won't be entertaining any complaints about how you spend your money. If she can spend what's legally hers without any thought to anyone else, then why does anyone need to consider her with how they spend their own money?
Info, is this the first time a serious discussion of the inheritance split came up? Was Shelley already an adult when the inheritance happened? Have they never noticed this imbalance before? Did you never tell her that you were extremely upset with her taking the money for herself before? It just feels extremely bizarre to me that a car, and probably not an expensive one, appears to be the inciting incident here and not years of disparity in college experience or any other payments you've had to make for Grace.
We have discussed it multiple times. She was 17 when she got her inheritance. It had a block, so I couldn't touch it, which was fine. It was supposed to be for the girls. We thought she would just be kind and split it with her sister. She didn't, and it basically fucked up her relationship with the family. As she puts it, it is hers legally. I don't need to share. Our other option would be to fight her claim to it, but we didn't have the money for that. She knows we all disapprove of her choice with it, especially since she knows Grandma wanted it shared.
Info, how much money are we talking about? A few $100,000 is not enough to ruin your relationships with your family. Is it more than that? Not the a-hole either way. You are supporting the child who needs more help because the eldest stole the money that was meant to be for both of them. If she is willing to sell her relationships with you and her sister for some money, she is not a good person.
She got almost $500,000, yet it ruined a lot of things. She showed us that she cares more about money than her family. Both girls would have been able to start life with no debt, and now one is having to bust her ass and still has debt.
Not the a-hole. Your oldest daughter is a bad person. If everyone including the grandmother's partner knew it was for both granddaughters, but it just wasn't set up correctly, while legally she can keep the money by at least not sharing some of it, morally was definitely wrong. The fact that she is debt-free and able to buy a house, but is still so greedy that she is mad you guys don't buy her a car as well is crazy.
What do you think of these stories? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories.